Organizations working together to improve the futures of women and families. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Ifeoma Aduba. She's Executive Director of the Bucks County Women's Advocacy Coalition. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you so much, Jill. It's a wonderful thing to be here. Thank you.
Your organization is made up of some 300 individual partners and now 49 organizational partners. But tell us how you work together to benefit women in Bucks County, families in Bucks County. How does your organization work?
Certainly, the organization is really founded on principle-based work. So there were principles that were developed that we review periodically every year, and that when people join us, they agree to those principles. And those principles are really what we developed as things that were essential for the success of women and ultimately to build really thriving communities and families. So whether you're an organization or an individual, they agree to those principles when they join as partners, and we keep them prominently on our website. There's many people who follow us who maybe don't fill out that partner form, but they're still following the work that we're doing. And we use those principles to guide decisions we make around education that we engage in, issues that we are following, legislation that we're speaking out about, and how we approach all of our education of the public and elected officials. And so it really is about building true coalition that's principles-based and allows everyone to know that when we take an action, we know that all of those partners are standing with us and in agreement with us about the decisions and the choices that we're advocating for.
And you say it's principle driven. Can you give us an example of what you mean by that? What would a principle of your organization include?
A principle might include just the basic need for safe, affordable housing, high quality, affordable healthcare, high quality, affordable early education for children. Basic things that we believe that if you want to build a community where individuals can thrive, women can thrive, families thrive, that you need to have those basic things in place. And so those are just, we refer to them as our principles. We ask people to agree to that when we come together. It's really essential for us that we are taking a nonpartisan position, and that's why we really looked at the development of principles that could bring everybody together.
And when you talk about these principles, these are issues that impact all of our lives: jobs, education, health and safety. But beyond the concept of principles, you take these issues and you translate them into advocacy and action. How do you work with partner organizations to do that?
Absolutely. Advocacy, really great advocacy, is rooted in being well educated on an issue. And so education is a key piece of the work that we do. And we look at educating, like I mentioned, the public, elected officials. We do education for our partners and really ourselves, right? We're human beings. We haven't gotten it perfect over the years. And so we have to continuously learn and figure out what really needs to be in place to create thriving communities. With our organization partners that are part of our work, we know that they're doing a lot of direct service provision in the community. So they know who they are seeing, what they're facing, the obstacles that are in their paths, the barriers to their success. And so we really rely on those organizational partners to provide that essential information to us to help us then turn around and build that case for here's what needs to happen next legislatively to really support the community. And while our focus has been on women and children, that's largely based on the fact that women are often disproportionately impacted when something negative occurs. And they're so often such a vital part of the home. It doesn't mean that anybody else in the home isn't important, but we do know that there's data out there that has shown that disproportionate impact, and that often women are ones who are maybe having their employment affected. If there's some issue with the family, they're maybe stepping out of work to become caretakers, and that those roles that women are playing are still so vital to the health of the community. And ultimately, the community is going to thrive if the individuals in the community are thriving as well.
And to your point, that's exactly what we've seen in this past year during COVID-19. There's been a disproportionate economic impact on women. Is this a conversation that you've been having with the partners that are part of your organization, really working to help women move forward as we move beyond the pandemic?
Absolutely. This pandemic has revealed so much about where there are inequities in our communities. Women have not been an exception to that. We've absolutely seen really disproportionate economic impacts on women. And frankly, when you're dealing with a pandemic and you have everybody in the family has the potential to fall ill in some way, and women are often stepping out of work to be in those caretaker roles. So many families faced having to, approaching September and not sending their children off to school, but in fact having to keep them at home and really support their education in the home and working along with. So I mean, I think we've all learned that teachers are amazing and children need to be in school, and trying to work at the same time is such a challenge for whoever in the family is doing that. And like I said, it's really disproportionately impacted women. And so that means if they're not working, they're not earning. Or if you're having to take time off from work because a family member is ill, and that's unpaid leave time, that's going to have it can have a real devastating impact on a family. And so it's been really essential to stay connected with our organization partners. We pulled them together just in November to say, here we are in November, we're getting prepared for the next legislative session. We know we're still in the throes of this pandemic. What is it that we're really seeing? Where are the most vital places for us to add our voice? And heard resoundingly about issues with housing, issues with childcare, issues with healthcare. And so that's really where we anticipate continuing to add our voice and really amplify the voice of our partners.
Thank you so much, Ify. And if people want to get involved with your work, they can visit the website for more information. You are always looking for additional partners to get involved.
Yes, please. We can never have too many partners involved and too many volunteers. So we absolutely invite people to join in any way they can.
Thank you so much. I've been talking with Ifeoma Aduba. I'm Jill Horner.